Welcome everyone to the D-Pad. I am your host Adam, and first off I'd like to thank our guest speaker Skyla for joining us this afternoon. Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello again.
Hello.
There you go. I'd also like to thank someone who I would like to call a producer, Chris Martin. He's actually the creator of the D-Pad, and I'd like to thank him for giving me this amazing opportunity to take over the channel and see what we can make of it. All right, so diving right in, today's topic is this new game called Stardew Valley. Now, we all, being me and Skyla here, we've played it, and we can agree, it's not anonymously, unanimously?
Mm-hmm.
We can unanimously agree that it is a fantastic game. The controls are very simple, the concept has been around for a long time, and it's really fun to play. So, for those of you who don't know, Stardew Valley is a farming simulation game primarily inspired by the Harvest Moon series. At the start of the game, the player creates their character with them becoming the recipient of a plot of land and a small house, which was once owned by their grandfather in an area called Stardew Valley. So the plot is initially overrun with boulders and trees and weeds, but the player works to clear the fields and restart the farm, tending to crops and livestock as to generate some form of revenue as to which further expand the farm's buildings and facilities. Also, the player can interact with non-player characters that inhabit the town, as you would assume in a game, include engaging in relationships with these characters, which can culminate in marriage, which results in NPC helping the player's character to tend to the farm. I've heard that you can you can have them like feed the animals and water the crops, stuff like that.
Maybe.
I haven't gotten that far yet. You've gotten that far, right?
Yeah, they don't actually do it that often, and they'll complain a lot.
So they basically are just lazy bums, and they're gold diggers in a sense.
Oh yes, big time.
Oh wow. All right, so basically, in short, if you have ever played a Harvest Moon game, it's essentially a clone of that. And I don't mean that in any negative way. I absolutely love the Harvest Moon for the Game Boy and the GameCube, and I even have a ROM for the N64 version on my computer. The reason that this game does so well, I think, is because of it being essentially a clone of a game that I really loved, or that everyone really loved, that has played the Harvest Moon series. So I do have a opening question for you if you're ready for it. Have you played any of the Harvest Moon games?
I played the A Wonderful Life on the GameCube.
The one where you're a dude and you go around and do the farm stuff?
Yeah, isn't that the concept of most of them?
There you go. All right. So, and in your opinion, what do you think is the biggest difference between Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon? And also, why would someone buy this game over just replaying an older game of Harvest Moon?
I mean, it's on the computer, PC, so it's a lot easier to do.
That's true.
Don't have an old GameCube.
So you don't have to dig it out. You don't have to worry about CDs getting scratched and things like that, or data corrupting. Let's see here. If you had to choose one form of revenue for the whole game, whether it's farming, fishing, dungeoning, or mining, whatever the two are the same, I think, which would you choose and why?
Farming is the only one that's truly profitable in the end.
Really?
Well, okay, so you have fishing, where I think you might know this, the TV shows you your luck for the day. If you have good luck, you can make probably at least 1,000 or 2 from fishing. Dungeoning, not so much, just because even still to make money from that, you'd have to find like diamonds and stuff, and those are really rare. Farming, if you do blueberries in summer and cranberries in fall, you can make, I think with cranberries at least, you can make at least 100,000. Each crop, and they have multiple per season.
See, because I primarily do fishing, because I always end up picking the crops that take the longest but also have the highest yield at the end, as far as profit goes. But a lot of my profit comes from fishing, and if I fish for the day, I can make, like 5,000.
Uh, you have to really get your farm going before you start to see profit with it, because I have, I think, 256 plots, and then I use the quality fertilizer that makes it 20. Your crops go 25% faster.
Okay.
So if you do that with blueberries, I think you get a crop like every 4 or 5 days.
Wow. Okay.
So if you have, okay, so for me, the summer that I just did, it was 71,000 each week, basically.
Okay. That's a lot of gold.
Well, when it costs like 50,000 to upgrade your house, yeah, you need it.
There you go. What is your favorite thing to do in the game?
Depends on the season. When it's winter, really just stay inside or mine, because I just think winter is super dull.
It is really boring.
You can't do any crops, and the events aren't super interesting, I guess. There's like ice fishing and then like Christmas, which, I mean, Christmas is kind of fun because you have like a secret Santa you can do.
Mm-hmm. I won the ice fishing competition, by the way.
Ah, so did I.
Nice.
So much fun.
I don't win a lot in this game, but I won the ice fishing competition, so I was pretty excited about that.
Well, it's kind of annoying because I know in spring for the egg festival, you have to basically do a specific route to actually get all the eggs you need to win, or else Abigail is like always going to win forever.
That's dumb. I hate her. She is the worst.
Do you really hate Abigail? I'm actually noticing a lot of people hate Abigail.
Really? I don't really hate anyone in the town.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that I really favor is Penny and Linus.
Why Linus?
Because he's homeless and I feel bad for him.
He's not homeless, like...
He lives in a tent.
Oh no, that's my job. He wants to be homeless.
I know, yeah. He does it on purpose, basically.
And yet he still rummages through the trash.
Yep, and he feels guilty according to the game. Oh, yeah.
He's actually really nice, though, if you become friends with him.
Yeah, and I also saw that if you do become good enough friends with him, he'll actually teach you how to make a certain bait for fishing.
Yeah, it's a wild bait, which I guess is the best bait there is.
Really?
That's the one thing about things to do in this game, is becoming friends with everybody, because everybody has something. Some people, it's only a recipe. Some people, it's actually things you might need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all know the wizard.
Yeah.
I believe if you get 4 hearts with him, you can go into his basement and actually change how you look. So he's how you change your look once you're into the game.
Wow.
So that's actually a little vital.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we spoke a little bit in the beginning about the fact that you can have relationships with NPCs and even eventually marry some of them. So who did you pick to marry and why?
Sebastian, is that even a question?
Why'd you pick Sebastian?
He is the quiet, kind of loner who likes video games. What other reason do you need?
Because he likes video games. Yeah, isn't Sebastian the like punk-looking guy with like the long black hair?
Yeah, but there's really the guy options to me were not super good. Alex is kind of your jock. Person who I'm not really a big fan of. Jeff Harvey, he's nice, but he reminds me of, I don't know, that anime trope where there's always that quiet, nice guy, but he's not the main character who's out killing people. He's just the older, quiet doctor who's like, that's not really interesting. Elliot is Fabio.
Elliot is Fabio. I felt like Harvey was like super hipster. Like he needs to be like listening to like 45s in his, doctor's office.
That would actually make a lot of sense.
Right? Okay. So I chose Penny. And let me ask you this. Are you ever planning on playing as a guy in the game?
It depends. So the guy who makes this game is actually still super active with this game. He updates it frequently. He'll even personally help you if you have a problem with it. He is still adding things to the game, and he plans on adding more marriage candidates.
Really?
Yes. So I can't imagine that being new people, because you kind of, where are you going to put them? Where are you going to put new people?
Right. You'd have to expand the town.
Yeah. So I know he said he was going to add Shane. I still don't understand that one, Shane. I'm hoping they add Emily, because if they were to add her, I would absolutely play as a guy and marry her, because she is just like this adorable blue-haired girl who's just happy. Because all of the characters, at least the marriage females, they're all quiet. Leah is quiet. Is quiet. Maru is quiet. Haley, no one. Okay, you only marry her because she's good looking. That's it. She's not very nice. By 2 hearts with her, she still barely remembers your name.
Wow.
What I'm looking for. Yeah, and who else was it?
See, when I spoke with Leah, I thought she was more like the loud, kind of crazy kind of type. That's the vibe that I got.
She just gave up the whole. She just seems like the artsy, live on your own, live by the lake type. I don't know. She likes sculpting. I know that.
Now, going back real quick, because you were talking about the creator of the game, I didn't do too much research on that, but what I did hear is that he didn't even really know what he was doing. He just kind of like decided 4 years ago, he's like, oh, you know what? I want to make a game. So he ended up making this game, and it finally released a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't think he really knew like coding. I think he taught himself. I think that's what I read.
Yeah,
so.
Which is amazing. Like, I've always wanted to like sit down with someone and be like, hey, let's make a game, you know?
He did it all on his own. He was the only person who did anything in it. I think that includes like the music and everything.
And that's why it took 4 years.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, 4 years to make a game this good, and it sold like what, 200,000 copies within like 2 weeks or so?
You know what? I want to say last time I checked, I'm going to open up Steam just to double check.
Yeah, I've looked in a while.
Last time I saw, let's see, view all news. Let's see. Stardew Valley. So mods bring Pokemon textures. That's interesting. Someone's making Pokemon textures for that. That's cool. I want to say last time I saw it was like 425,000 copies that were sold.
You know, it's kind of interesting to me. Why is it that when most games that come out now are either FPS or just your typical, I don't know, I can't think of how you would describe it, like Hitman and Assassin's Creed, all those kind of games that come out, why is this the one that's just going crazy?
I don't know. Yeah, I just found that what I was looking at, it's March 9th. So it was, you know, it's definitely over a week ago that I saw, or that this post came out. So by March 9th, 12 days after the launch of Stardew Valley, they had sold 425,000 copies of the game.
Jeez.
That is fantastic. That is just, whew, I'm excited for that. All right, so moving on, my final question for the podcast that we're doing right now is, if you could have told your past self one thing when starting out in Stardew Valley, what would it have been?
Save more from foraging and start your crops faster.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I did not think about all of that, about how, you know, I should probably like try to make a little bit of money while, you know, spring is around. Because I was just doing parsnips. Had no idea what I was doing. Yeah,
you need potatoes and cauliflower the first season. And this is something I have a problem with in games. I don't like spending money in games. I have this huge just like, oh, I can't do it. I have to save my money. I can't spend any of it. So I end up not making money because of that. So finally, I don't know, I spent like 30,000 one summer for the blueberries, and it was just like, okay. Because if you start, so I'm in year 3, I believe.
Okay.
So for the first 2 years, I could have made so much more money than I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little annoyed that I didn't, because I was like, oh, now I have money now. Because I didn't have animals till year 3, and I'm seeing people actually have the money for it in like year 1. I'm just like, all right, so I didn't do this right.
Oh yeah, like I'm in year 1 in winter, and I've had cows now for almost actually for a full month. So I have like 4 cows. So that's my current like constant income that I know that I have each day. So I'm pretty set when it comes to selling it, but I feel like the milk that they're producing is not high enough quality that it's actually profitable for me, you know?
I think the profitable is like the large version of what they keep up with. Like there's the large egg, large milk, but they don't give that all the time. And I'm assuming if you get higher relationships, they probably give it to you more. So you gotta look at cows every day.
Yeah, I think if I was to tell myself something before I started this game, it probably would have been to focus on your energy level and your health level when you're in the mines, because I cannot tell you, I lost probably a cumulative of 25,000 gold so far from dying in the dungeon. And I am so mad about that. I lost my sword.
Dear.
I've lost my scythe. I've lost my milk bucket while I was in there. I'm like, why? Why do these things have to happen to good people? I am the best.
Wait, did you get your scythe back? Because isn't that one of the things you start with?
Yeah, it is one of the things you start with.
You need it.
I know.
But you don't have it at all anymore?
I don't think so.
What?
I know, right? So, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I didn't know you could actually lose things. I know you could lose money if like you died or passed out, but I didn't think you could lose items.
No,
especially
yeah.
items you can't get back.
No, yeah, like every time I die, it's like, and certain X amount of number of items is missing from my pockets.
Is it possible they're like in a box you have or anything?
Beats me, you know? Beats me. I wish I knew. I wish there was a way that I could go back from that and not have, you know, died. Or whatever.
Yeah. I noticed that though. A lot of people were having the problem of passing out, and I'm the kind of person like if I'm not in bed by like 7, I can't do it. I have or like I'm afraid of that. I just nope.
Yeah. It's the worst.
Well, you do have you've gone through summer, so you have that earthquake that happened and that pathway opened up.
What pathway?
Oh no. Oh no.
Are you spoiling this for me?
No. You're spoiling it for yourself because you should already know this.
No, I don't. Nothing like this happened for me.
Yeah, one of the first few days of summer, there's like, when you go to sleep, you'll wake up and like, oh, there was an earthquake in the middle of the night. Now, I know you have it because it happens every summer. You can't just not have it happen.
Okay, well, what pathway was it supposed to open up?
So where Linus is and Robin's house, right there, you'll notice there was like a sign there and it would say like railroad. And you're like, what does that mean? There's no railroad. There's a wall here.
Oh, you're talking about the bathhouse.
Yeah, that's how you get energy back.
Yeah, I do know that. I didn't realize that there was an earthquake that happened. Like, I never got any notification, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
No, it's pretty easy to miss. Sometimes even meteors will fall and be like, it'll just like, oh, something happened in the middle of the night. You have to go find it, and then mine fell in the middle of my pathway, so that was not exciting.
Wow. All right, well, I believe that concludes our podcast for today. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in to listen to us. If you have a topic that is game related or a game you'd like us to talk about here on the show, please feel free to comment below and tweet at the Twitter handle the D-Pad using the hashtag DPadPodcast. All right, thank you, and may your D-Pads be swift.